being so like, did this woman, she did the right thing by not giving her time away for free. If you're curious about how you can better value your time, both in business, but in your life in general, so that you can actually achieve your dreams and get more done, you're in luck, because that's what we're gonna get into right now. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, and I wouldn't be able to do all the things if I was not a stickler about my time. And so this is something that I've had to learn to master over the years. And I'm not just talking about time management, because I think that's what everybody jumps to, right? Like, oh, you know, if you want to achieve more, you got to do better at managing your time, and you have to be disciplined. And all of those things are true, but perhaps this falls under the umbrella of time management. I'm not sure. But one thing that I know a lot of people struggle with, particularly a lot of women and women entrepreneurs, is valuing your time, right? And so valuing your time is both a mindset and a practice, and it's something that you do have to get into the habit of. And so if you're curious about how you can better value your time, both in business, but in your life in general, so that you can actually achieve your dreams and get more done, you're in luck, because that's what we're gonna get into right now. All right, the first step to better valuing your time, both in business and life, or valuing it more highly, is to let go of old ideas around what it means to value your time. And I say this because I think some of us are scared to become that person, right? We have these ideas of these, you know, stuck up people who think they're too good for everybody, and oh, you value your time, you don't have time for me, you don't have time for the people in your life. And we kind of assign it to like, oh, those are like arrogant, nose in the air, you know, snooty people. I don't want to be one of those people. And so we swing to the opposite end of the spectrum, where we don't value our time at all. We have no boundaries. We're allowing people to waste our time, and we do it under the guise of, well, you know, I want to stay down to earth. I don't want to be stuck up. So you have to let go a lot of those ideas, and you really need to be honest with yourself, because oftentimes we have ideas about that because perhaps there was someone who valued their time and didn't allow us to waste it, right? And we felt a certain kind of way about that. Maybe we were offended at the time, or we had an attitude, and we just always said in our mind, oh, I'm not going to be one of those people, not recognizing that maybe the person who rebuffed you in some respect because they were valuing their time, maybe that person was 100% right to do that. And so now you're going to have to let go of the offense, because maybe you didn't understand, you know, what it meant to value time at that time. And you're going to have to say, you know, this is something that I need to do. And so this has definitely happened to me. In fact, I remember when I had just graduated from school, I was working my corporate job, and I was trying to build my business, and I was doing all the things that everybody does. I was signing up for webinars and signing up for all the stuff, watching all the videos, listening to all the podcasts, just trying to get as much information as possible. And I didn't really understand how this world worked, how coaching worked, how selling your expertise online really worked. And so there was an email list for a particular industry expert. I don't even know if she called herself a coach at that time, but you know, she was talking about building an online business, and I was on her email list. And you know, something that she said in that particular email just really struck me. And so, you know, I went out on a limb and I replied to her email. And so I'm, again, super green, not knowing this industry at all. And I replied to her email, basically kind of trying to employ the same tactics that I did in school by, you know, saying, oh, you know, how much I admired her, and, you know, I would love it if she could mentor me. And, you know, I want to pick her brain. I even use those words. I wanted to pick her brain, et cetera, et cetera. And I say I employed those tactics in school because I think for a lot of us, especially my young adults, or those of you who are in your mid or even late 20s, when you're in college, that being like, oh, I'm the cute, you know, little college student who is just here to like learn and take over the world, right? You know, adults, well, not that you're not an adult when you're a college student, but you know, grown folks, right? People with mortgages and real bills and who have done things are kind of endeared to you a little bit, and they're like, oh, you know, and they'll take you under their wing, or everybody loves to support a college student. So I know for me, I think I got in the habit of always being like, oh, you know, can I take you out to coffee? Can I pick your brain? Can I take you to lunch? Can I get this information? And people were willing to do it because they're like, oh, look at this, you know, young woman in college, you know, trying to make her way in the world. And, you know, it worked. And so here I am, I've graduated now, right? Here's a hint for you, for my college folks. Once you graduate, don't nobody care. Okay, like you're an adult just like everybody else. So I've graduated, right? I'm a working adult. And I'm on this woman's email list and I'm trying to employ those same tactics, sending her this email like, oh, will you mentor me and take me under your wing? And she replied to me and she was very nice and very respectful. And she was like, oh, hey, thanks for replying to my email. It's always so great to hear from my community. I'm so glad that you're interested in my support and my work. Here's the page that has all of my offerings. Here's my rate for a one-on-one call. Like, she just laid it out for me. And I remember being so like, did this woman really just reply with her rates, right? But again, that was on me. I was the one that was new to the industry. I was the one that was green. She was perfectly 100%, 1000% well within her rights, right? And her boundaries. And she did the right thing by not giving her time away for free and valuing her time highly. And so I tell you that story because for many of us, if we're honest, we have come across people where we've tried to get something from someone and they valued their time and they were like, you want my support? Okay, here's what that is gonna look like. And we allow those negative and offended feelings to then keep us from valuing our time the way we should because we don't wanna be those people. So the first step to truly valuing your time in life and business is you gotta let all of that go. All right, the next step to valuing your time, which sounds so simple, but no one does it, which is get clear on the value of your time. Like literally in dollars and cents, what does that mean? And I know it might not be an exact number, but the best way to start is to think about what is the revenue you're either making in your business or that you want to make in your business, and how many hours do you want to be working in your business? Do you want to work a traditional 40-hour week? Are you willing to put in 60 hours? Are you scaling down? You're like, look, I'm trying to do this part-time, 25 hours a week, whatever the hours are that you want to work in your business, and then the amount of revenue that you want to generate, go ahead and do some backwards kind of napkin math, and come up with a number. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the actual rate that you go out and charge people, but it's more so like an internal rate that you keep in your mind so that when you're making decisions about maybe paying for conveniences, which I'm a big fan of, you can feel less guilty about doing that because actually you're valuing your time. I know for me, I don't like grocery shopping, right? And actually, I take that back. I don't mind it. And there are certain grocery stores that I love kind of like browsing the shelves. There's like a really cool gourmet grocery store in my city that has all these like random gourmet food products from different parts of the world. So, I like to do that when I have the time, but most of the time I don't. And so, oh, we need to go to the grocery store because we run out of paper towels, or can somebody get the chicken broth? I'm not trying to do that. And even as I'm recording this video, I'm actually recording this on Thanksgiving week here in the US. So the grocery stores are just crazy. Best believe your girl will be on Instacart ordering those groceries. Now I know my mom is gonna be aghast because she's like, Courtney, those delivery fees, you're gonna pay somebody $5.99 or whatever it is to deliver your groceries plus the tip, plus they're not charging the real prices that are in the store, they're adding a little margin on Instacart. And I'm like, yes, and I'm fine with that. I'm paying for that because when I do the math and I look at my actual hourly rate, right, my internal hourly rate, and what it would cost me to go to the grocery store, it would actually cost me more if I personally went than if I paid this $5.99 delivery fee plus, tip, plus the inflated prices on Instagram. It still comes out to less than what it would cost if I went out and do that. And so that's really the mindset that you have to have in terms of, it's not just, oh, I'm saving money. Are you saving money? Because if you are doing these activities when you could be making money, you're essentially forfeiting the money that you could have made had you just delegated that. And so we have to get into this place where we're willing to pay for convenience. We're willing to pay, people to support us. We're willing to delegate because we know what our value is and what the value of our time is. All right, the next step to valuing your time, both in business and in life, is simply put, don't put yourself in a position for your time to be wasted, right? So part of that can be that delegation that I talked about, or paying for conveniences. I am a proud TSA pre-check member, right? I paid for that because I don't want my time wasted in the airport line where I have to, take off my shoes and do all that stuff. If I could just breeze through, I'm saving time, right? But beyond delegating and thinking about what my hourly rate is, it's just living a lifestyle where I'm not gonna put myself in a position where my time is to be wasted. So we can do that by paying for certain conveniences, but I think more broadly, we do that by being mindful of the environments that we put ourselves in and really the people that we hang out with. And so I know this is gonna be, a tough one, and some people don't like to hear this, but it's very true that people will often value your time at the rate that they value their own, right? So if you have people, maybe old friends from school or certain family members who don't value their time, highly, and they like to just sit on the phone and gossip and waste time, or, do things that aren't really productive and aren't conducive understand that when you're around them, they're not deliberately trying to waste your time or deliberately trying to devalue your time. But the key is they're not going to value your time very highly because they don't value their own time highly, right? And this is actually not an indictment to them. I mean, people are free to do and to live how they choose. However, if you are choosing to be very productive and you want to really get a handle on your time and value it more highly so that you can achieve your goals, you're going to have to make some decisions around how much time you spend with people. And again, it might be dear, dear loved ones. And I'm not saying that you should cut people out of your life or, never talk to people again, but you're going to have to start having tighter boundaries around how you engage with people and how close you allow them to be, and how you allow them in your life, so that you are making sure that you are not forfeiting your own dreams, forfeiting the things that you're trying to do for yourself, for your own family, simply because someone else doesn't value it that highly because they don't value it in their own life. So don't put yourself in a position for your time to be wasted. And that is both in circumstances. So again, go ahead and sign up for the TSA pre-check, but more importantly, it's typically around the people in the social circles that we surround ourselves with. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you value your time and you're like, you know what, I'm trying to get this coaching business up off the ground and I'm trying to do it quickly, I invite you to apply for my CLS coaching certification. And no, CLS doesn't just stand for my initials, it stands for Coach of Life Success, which is the designation that we will provide you in, gasp, 90 days. Yes, we can provide you an accredited coaching certification in 90 days. Go ahead, click the link below to learn all about it. We not only provide that accreditation, but we show you how to come up with your own coaching methodology, how to build your own coaching program. And if you so choose, you can even join the portion of that program where we will show you how to build a coaching business from scratch so that you can become the next big name in your industry. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and click the link below to learn more, apply, and if accepted, you'll be invited to a call with our enrollment team who will walk you through the entire process. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure to subscribe to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on both Instagram and TikTok. Yes, your girl finally got on TikTok. It's CourtneyLSanders on both. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.